Hello, and welcome to your next lesson. Today we will be discussing the EDate function. This function will allow you to calculate future dates based on the date given. We will also factor in the data if feature that we learned in previous lessons during this series. Please open the Date and Time workbook and go to the EDate tab to follow along in this lesson. As stated, the EOMonth function returns the end of the month date. The formula on your screen is an example of the formula we'll use today. Let's break the formula down. Equal EOMonth, of course, is the beginning of our function. The C4 represents the cell reference. The number 5 represents the additional months we will add to the end of the month. So if we are starting with January 1st, 2021, the ending output will be June 30th, 2021. Other examples are also provided. So the first example will return the end of the month with no additional months added. The second example will return the end of the month plus an additional 5 months plus an additional 5 days. The third example will return the end of the month plus an additional 5 months minus 30 days. So let's go ahead and dive into this lesson so we can further clarify the Okay, so here we are on our spreadsheet, and I have added some data for us to work with. We will review an invoice schedule today. We'll begin with the beginning of each month. Column C represents the day that we will send the invoices to our customer. Column D represents the due date for each invoice. Column E represents the early discount offer. Column F represents the late fee schedule. And column G represents when penalty fees will be applied. Okay, so let's begin by determining our due date. Let's click inside of cell D4. So we'll make the due date 30 days after the first. So let's go ahead and type equal inside of cell D4. Let's go ahead and type EOMonth. Let's go ahead and start an opening parenthesis and select cell B4. Let's place a comma. Let's go ahead and add 0. Now this is notifying Excel that we do not want to add any additional months. Let's go ahead and close it out with a parenthesis and say enter. So the first invoice will be due on January 31st. Next, I would like to determine when we'll send the invoice. We will send the invoice 25 days before it is actually due. So we're going to base this on cell D4. Go ahead and type equal inside of cell C4. And again, let's go ahead and type EOMonth. Okay, let's go ahead and start an opening parenthesis. This time we're going to select cell D4. Okay, let's go ahead and add a comma. Let's go ahead and place a 0. Okay, so this is notifying Excel that we do not want to add any additional months to our formula. Let's go ahead and place a closing parenthesis. Now we want to go ahead and add a negative 25. This is notifying Excel that we want to return the end of the month, but we want to minus 25 days. So let's go ahead and say enter, and this should be January 6th. So as you can see, the due date is January 31st. We will send the invoice on January 6th. Okay, so we are offering our customers a discount if they pay 15 days prior to the due date. We will add a 5% late fee if the payment is received 10 days after the due date. And we will add penalty fees if the invoice is over 60 days late. So let's begin by placing our mouse inside of cell E4. Let's go ahead and type EOMonth. Let's place an opening parenthesis. Let's go ahead and select cell B4. Let's place a comma. Let's add a 0 because we will not be adding additional months. And let's go ahead and close it out with a parenthesis. Next, let's go ahead and add a negative 15. Okay, So this is basically saying if the customer makes the payment before the 16th of January, we will offer a 5% discount. So now let's look at our late fees and penalty fees. So column F is saying that if the payment is received 10 days after the due date, we will add a 5% late fee. Okay? So let's go ahead and place our mouse inside of cell F4. Let's go ahead and type equal and EO month. Let's place the opening parenthesis. Let's select cell B4. Let's place a comma and add a 0 plus a closing parenthesis. Now we're going to go ahead and add plus 10. And this is saying that if the invoice is received after February 10th, we will add a 5% late fee. Okay, so this is opposite of our early discount offer. All right, so let's go ahead and do one more. Let's place our mouse inside of cell G4. Let's go ahead and type equal and EO month. Let's add an opening parenthesis. Let's select cell B4. Let's add a comma and a 0 plus a closing parenthesis. So from here, we're going to go ahead and say plus 60. So this is basically saying if our invoice is not received within the 60 days, not only will we apply the 5% late fee, but we'll also add penalty fees. Okay? So let's go ahead and click enter, and we're left with the date of April 1st, 2021. Okay, and so from here, we're going to simply do an autofill. Let's go ahead and select cell B4. Let's drag it all the way over to G4. Let's hover to get our black cross, and let's simply drag it all the way down. Now we don't need an absolute reference or a mixed reference in this case, and we are pretty much all set. Let's go ahead and review our results, and then we'll wrap up this lesson. Let's go ahead and take a look at row 9. So this is due on June 1st. We'll send the invoice on the 5th and has a due date of June 30th. If the invoice is received prior to June 15th, they will receive an early discount offer. Late fees will be assessed on July 10th, and penalties will be added on August 29th. Okay, let's look at row 13. Again, the invoice will be sent on the 6th with the due date of the 31st. Early discount offer will expire on October 16th. Late fees will be added on November 10th, and a 60-day penalty will be added on December 30th. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the last one. We have an invoice being sent out on December 6th with a due date of December 31st. Early discount offer will expire on December 16th. Late fees will be added on January 10th, and a 60-day penalty will be added on March 1st, 2022. And with that being said, we'll wrap up the lesson. I hope you found this information helpful. I'll see you in the next video.
Congrats! You have completed another video. I am very proud of you and the progress that you are making. You are doing a great job, and I look forward to seeing you in our next level up lesson video.